Let's explore a feeling that I think many of us have. It's this question of why, in an age with more information than ever, the world often feels harder to understand, not easier. It all starts with a simple, undeniable fact, right? Every single day, we have access to more news, more data, more updates than any other time in history. The stream just never stops. And yet, here's the paradox. Even with this flood of information, our actual sense of getting it, of truly understanding what's happening in reality, well, that doesn't seem to be growing. For a lot of us, it might even feel like it's shrinking. So this brings us to what you could call the information paradox. It's that strange feeling you get when you're constantly in the know, but the bigger picture somehow stays blurry, just out of focus. I mean, just think about your daily news feed. You're hit with these massive, incredibly complex topics, one right after the other. You've got war, breakthroughs in AI, major shifts in energy, global finance, policy changes. Each one is a universe in itself. So what's the result of being bombarded like this all the time? Well, it's often this kind of low-level anxiety, a feeling that we should know more. But at the same time, there's this frustrating realization that our core understanding of these things isn't really getting any deeper. We get the updates, but our judgment, our actual take on the world, doesn't really change with them. Okay, so why is this happening? The root of the problem seems to be this fundamental mismatch. It's like a clash between two completely different timelines, or you could think of it as two different ticking clocks, the clock of the news and the clock of reality. First, let's look at the news cycle. It operates in this really short, closed loop. An event happens, it creates an immediate reaction. And then very, very quickly, the cycle moves on and that event is basically forgotten to make room for the next one. Now, compare that with how reality actually changes. It's not just a series of random events. It's a slow, cumulative process. Pressure builds up over a long time, creating what you could call a gradient, a slope of potential change. And then, only when a tipping point is reached, you get a phase shift, a real fundamental change in how things are structured. So you see, news time is all about the immediate. It's event-driven, and it's designed for you to consume it quickly. Reality time, though, is all about accumulation. It's pressure-driven, and it deals with these deep structural forces. And it's this gap, this total disconnect between these two timelines that causes meaning to just dissolve. This mismatch leads us straight to something we can call the meaning deficit. It's this pretty counterintuitive idea that the sheer volume of information can actually work against our ability to understand the world. And what we see are these interesting inverse relationships happening. As the volume of information goes up, the actual density of meaning inside that information goes down. And while our reaction speed, how fast we react to a headline, gets quicker, the rate at which we update our fundamental judgments about the world, well, that actually slows down. This all leads to a state you might call judgment paralysis. And this isn't ignorance. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It's a kind of paralysis that comes from knowing countless little facts, but having no framework to connect them. It's like having all the pieces of a puzzle scattered on the table, but no box with a picture on it to guide you. So, to be really clear, the problem isn't that the news is bad or that journalists are failing. The issue is structural. What we're missing is a translation layer, something that helps us connect the quick, daily events to the slow-moving, deep structures of reality that they're actually a part of. Once you understand this structure, it actually allows you to shift your whole perspective. We can move from just being passive reactors to becoming active observers, just by asking a different kind of question. So, first, we can ask ourselves this. When we're consuming information, are we really watching and observing what's going on? Or are we just caught in that fast loop of reacting to the stimulus of the latest event, only to forget about it a few minutes later? And that really leads us to a final, maybe more profound question. If this endless stream of event-based information is causing meaning to just evaporate, then what should we be paying attention to instead? If not the events, what are the pressures, the gradients, the underlying structures we should be observing to really start understanding our world again?